Welcome, Queens and Goddesses, for another episode of the Black Aphrodite Experience. And in this episode, we're going to talk about interest-based events. So before we even get started, like and subscribe us. Interest-based events are like events that's local or like in the community, and they host it annually. Such as when I mentioned the other episode, I talked about local community events like the book fair, anime, like those kind of interest events. There's a lot. There are a lot of events that people can go to get more ideas about their passion, get to like know more people that's in the field of their passion. So like if you want to be a movie director or film director or just someone in the music industry or just your actors, you will want to go to those kind of events. Of course, a lot of those kind of events will be in Hollywood, but there is some local, like Baltimore has a location. They do it annually around this time in like the fall and like late summer. And then Atlanta has one, New York has one, and there's a whole bunch of those kind of like programs if you want to be an actor or you want to be in the movie industry and you want to be behind the scene or the writer. They got book festivals. Like I looked up some festivals that locate in Baltimore, in Annapolis, Maryland. They got one in Philadelphia, and there's like so many within the whole country and overseas. And they have like specific genres too. So they have children, they have young adult, AY, which is young adult books. They have books that's based on the black community. They have like different fields, and then books about women. It's a lot of these kind of programs that like get you inspired, to give you like places that when you have like your project, then you can like actually go to those places as one of those sellers or those presenters for those events. But like for the first couple of times as you work on your project, you get to link up with other writers so you can co-write future projects, or you can work on you might even meet like future directors or directors that's already working on a project and they're sharing their stuff, and you like share your piece and tell them, I have a piece and we should collaborate and work together. Like more heads create great pieces. So Kai, what kind of like events would you like would be interested in? Like I know I mentioned anime. I mentioned what
you said.
What did I say?
Anime.
Let's say it right.
Anime.
Anyway, I said anime. Anime, and I said about actors and film directors and writers festivals. What kind of events would you be interested in going to see?
Probably one of those anime conventions and the little cosplays. I like those.
So if you guys are interested in those kind of events, I'm gonna link in the comment section some events that happens around the DMV area. Get you inspired. So if you're not close to the DMV area but you want to see like what those kind of events look like, I will link some of those programs in the comment section. Also like writers and stuff to get you started on your search to see things that's in your area, your community, in your state, or just in the country period. I'm not going to look for overseas because I don't know how many people is going to be interested in going overseas if you're not overseas, if you're not living there already. It's important to go to this type of event because it gives you inspiration to your passion, gets you to see like what kind of genres or what kind of branches of ideas you can like bring into your creative mind into these fields. Like I said in another episode, I mentioned how you might think two things that you're interested in cannot work together, but trust me, If you have those two things in mind, it's usually a way to make it work. And if you haven't seen it, that means you have something good on your hands. You have something good on your hand, and that means that you are the one to create something beautiful, to put those two things together. Because obviously, if you didn't have interest in those things, then you wouldn't know how to make it work. But getting inspirations from other people and from the people in these programs you'll meet in these kind of interest-based events, they'll inspire you and show you, like, one might like biology, but they also one time in their life thought they wanted to be a singer. So they rap and sing about biology stuff, and like kids will like love to listen to that when they try to learn some biological terms for their next exam. They can use that song and they'll remember it. That's how that can work. Or you might like to draw, but you also like watching cartoons. Make a cartoon. You can be the draw for the cartoon, but you can just link up with a writer who likes to create the cartoon stories, and you be the illustrator for them. There's so many ways to create things. For me, I had psychology and English background, so I was able to teach English, but I was able to understand children of different backgrounds who didn't have English as their first language. It was their second language. So I was able to understand them, break it down, the English down, so they could be able to remember it. So when it's time for them to use it outside the classroom, they were able to pick it up. I literally taught one of my students how to speak English, and his first language was Chinese. And yes, and if you know about English and Asian languages, those are so separate, they're not easy to like pick up. Like for English, trying to learn French, Spanish, those are like common words, common style languages that for the most part they'll be able to pick it up and they'll find some similarities in the languages. But with Asian languages, you got to know the style of how they write the letters and numbers and symbols, versus we have letters that similar in the other language, French and Spanish. And he was 2 when he joined the class, so like it's just about the right time to pick up a language. And by the end of the summer, he was actually able to say some simple sentences, and it was clear to him. But also, it also helped, like I mentioned in another episode, that going to a country that you have no choice but learn that language, you will be more influenced. You get to practice the language, and you understand it because you get to like meet a whole bunch of people speaking that language, and you get to practice with them, and you get to see the flow of language and see how you can imitate with them, versus trying to speak Spanish in a community that's only speaking one language, like French. But like I was saying, the languages are different to like pick up if you're not in the country or you don't plan on visiting the country soon after you learn these languages. We practice these languages because you can't really practice that much if you don't have people near you or you see daily to practice that language with them that are fluent or native. So now we're going to talk about how I found the interest events that I was interested in. By like when I was on campus, I saw like boards. What?
I was yawning and I decompressed it.
But you can hear it. You might have just did, oh, like you might have just did the whole thing. Now you just saying that. To find these kind of events, you can find them online, like Google, or you can go on, if you have Facebook or Instagram, you can just hashtag or put on groups on Facebook and say like writers or other events, and then they'll have, like, I'm a part of like the DMV social group, so it has like it talk about things that happen in the DMV about the black population because it's mostly black in that group, and then we talk about different things that happen in the community and talk about different events. Like we bring up, and then like you have restaurants. Like if you want to know about restaurants in the area or you want to support a certain type of group of people, then Facebook is definitely number one. You just put like what you're interested in, and just like writer community group or filmmaker group or volleyball group or gymnastics group, and it will pop up. You just put page or you put group, and it will help you get to. And usually these groups will tell you about different events in the area, and like for other parts of the U.S. they may have like groups based on your state or your community. Like here, we live so close to Virginia and DC that they call the DMV. So we just put the DMV and then put different kind of groups, titles or events, and then it'll, for the most part, there'll be a group for those groups within the area, so you get to meet up with them. Of course, with this pandemic, you're not going to really plan on meeting up with nobody. I do not recommend anybody meeting up with nobody at the moment. But when things open up, or you're able to do this outside in well space with your mask on, then I say go for it. These events are going to expand your knowledge within the passion that you like found when you took that test that we took in the second episode. Wasn't it the second episode?
Yes.
Yeah, that we took in the second episode. So like if you had doctor, then you'll find groups about different fields of medicine, pharmacy, nurse, doctor, surgeon. And they'll help you with like find the right school. Then you might find people who's already in school for those majors or doing their practice, and you can ask them questions like, how is it, like, can I learn? How hard was it to take those exams? When was it expected? What kind of grade are they expecting to get into this type of school or program? Typically, these people will be able to give you advice, find you the resources, like, and then you might find people who might have money, who don't have money, but was able to come together and share the resources. And those resources will help you be able to use that knowledge and be able to get those resources yourself and get you into that right program. And that's why it's important to go to these local events, because local events is going to like get you into a higher level. Like me being in the Old Brown program, which is a nonprofit, but it was for people whose parents who didn't have a bachelor's degree or was low income or both, and was in the area. We learned how to find grants and scholarships where I had to pull out a loan. So like I was fortunate to not have to like pull out any loans to finish my 7 years of college. At the end, I did need some help from my family, but I swear it takes a village to get you where you need to go, and that was just a boost to it. Without them, I probably would have a couple of loans by now, and I would be owing. I would be owing money. You messed me up. I would be owing money to a loan place or the government, and you can't really enjoy no degree until you start paying it off. And for the most part, what?
You can't really enjoy it. No.
You don't want to owe no money, and this is why if you're gonna go to college, find something that you're passionate about, and it's best to find it before like before your last year of college, because you do not want to be stuck in almost finishing a degree and you're like, yeah, I'm getting a degree, that's great, but I don't really like none of the options of doing anything with this degree, and then you're stuck with it. Even though like in the US, their education, like the way their higher education is set up for a degree, not a certificate, you're really like, yes, you like practice in that field, or you're learning about that field, but you can branch out, because like you have to take psychology, you have to take math courses, you have to take a social studies course. So even though you might decide, oh yeah, I took a degree major, and I graduated. I graduated with it, but now I want to do something more like on ed program, but like on the artistic side. You got the psychology, you got the background to explore other things. Overseas, when I was overseas, like I talked to the other assistants, and they was saying that for the most part, all of their classes they had to take, they had to they had to stick with it. Like it only focused mainly on that degree specifically, so they don't have enough. They won't get a lot of room to branch out to other like career choices. So it's basically like, yeah, you will have to go back to school, and then we got time for that, especially when it was already expensive to get that one degree. So I have a question for you guys. Are there any interest events you are looking forward to when like this pandemic is over? Or is there a way that your program, local event that you like usually plan to go to every year, or you thought about going this year but couldn't because of the pandemic? Was it ways to participate in those events, like virtually, or they could take it outside and like have everybody spread out, and 6 feet apart from each other? Just put it in the comments so we can hear, because we would love to love what kind of things are happening in the world right now, especially during this pandemic, and what kind of plans you guys think you want to do when things open up again that related to that test you took. I will hope you guys had took it. If you have not, definitely go to the second episode of the Black Aphrodite experience so that you could take the test, because I swear that test was very informative. Yes, it was long. Just gonna let you know, it was long, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it like went thoroughly. Like it really tried to learn your personality, what you do when you don't have to do work, things you enjoy doing on your free time, and then stuff that is related to the job related. And it was very incisive on like within the times. Like they even mentioned like now that we're in a pandemic, like how is a career and school life working for you, and like how are you feeling with the current job you have or you did have. And it really helped and blends you and get you ready for like if you're going to college. It'll like give you a list of the degrees you should consider, and they also have like a list of careers you should think about pursuing or you might be interested in. And for the most part, when I saw my result, it fit perfectly. Like some of the things I was already doing, the two degrees I had was already on that list of degrees, so like I think it was at a right point. What about you, Kai? What do you think about your results so far?
They were accurate. I like them.
And do you see yourself maybe pursuing or learning more about those fields?
Yeah.
So in the next episode, we'll be talking about how to expand the knowledge of the passion to see if that's something you really like to do. Because like, yes, you like it, but now you have to like do these activities like the interest event, going to local communities, going to after school programs, participate in your local community, or doing things on campus to like build on that skill, build on that passion to actually see if you really like it. Because if you don't like it, you can easily just change it. But if you wait too late, then you feel like you have to rush to find your passion. But let me just let you know right now, it's no time to find your passion, but you have more freedom if you get it, if you find it early within your years of education. Because once college is over, once age 25, that's it. You feel like you have to rush to get something complete in 30 and plus, and then you still have this great life. Like society wants us to believe like, oh, at 30 you get all your stuff together, I'm gonna just let you know, it's a lot of people still trying to figure out what they trying to do, and they 50, 40 something, 60, just turned 30, and they struggling trying to figure out, but they're rushing. You don't want to rush. That's why you need to find it now. Yes, have fun, enjoy your 20s, but just let you know, 21 quickly gets to 25, 25 gets you to 30 in the next day. It literally is that fast. And after 30, it's like, where's the family? Where's my career? Like, why I don't have my own house? Where's my car? Like, you don't want to do that. And then try to find your passion, because like now you don't have patience for passion. And then if you got kids, oh my gosh, that's it. You ain't even about to be trying to worry about passion, because you be like, I need to provide for the kids. So if you like this episode, let's say hi and it did like that. So if you like this episode, please like us and subscribe to the channel so you'll be up to date for the next episode.